Retirement case studies are a great way to learn how to manage your money. In this example, we've got a couple in their mid-50s. They have 1.5 million of investments and they want to retire on 50k a year after tax and also with some fun money. So here's their portfolio. Cash of £250,000, Global Tracker £500,000, Life Strategy 100 £500,000, and then an active bond fund, Jupiter Strategic, at £260,000. So hopefully it's not too difficult to see that they can meet their income objective. £1.5 million on the 4% rule is £60,000 a year in retirement. They've also got 2 lots of state pensions, and one of them has a defined benefit pension that will pay £15,000 at the age of 67. So it does kind of amaze me how little some people seem to understand about the translation of wealth into income, and as long as you can get some kind of grasp on this measure, you can live a much more interesting and exciting retirement. That's going to be able to buy a lot of Monster Munch. In terms of the portfolio, it is very simple and easy to manage. However, I think they have too much money in just one active bond fund, and they're at risk of manager and kind of style drift. So if that fund starts to underperform, it could have a negative impact on their portfolio, and they're better off having maybe a few active bond funds or even having less money in bonds altogether, because they do have a very large cash buffer, which currently is sitting at 5 years worth of expenditure. This shows the fallacy around one more year, where what you really need is to manage your expenditure and investments effectively, and that will do more in terms of ensuring a comfortable retirement than working an extra year in a job you're not that fussed about. They are looking to retire quite early, and I think what they need is new challenges and new passions in life outside of the corporate world and the Monday to Friday 9 to 5. And this is mentioned in books such as The Second Mountain by David Brooks, where it's giving you another challenge in later life. So examples could include he could become like a man shed type of guy, and then she could become kind of like gardener like Kim Wilde, which isn't too bad, is it? The article suggests getting some tax and cash flow planning advice, and this brings me to the advice gap, where people know financial advisors exist, but they just feel they're too expensive, and then they get a bit stuck as to exactly what to do. And this is an area where coaches can help them build a cash flow model and understand what's going on without costing them an arm and a leg. When I put some numbers into my retirement calculator spreadsheet and use a return of 5% a year, I get over £1 million worth of wealth at today's money when they're 95, if they only spend £50,000 each year in retirement, and they also never pay the 40% tax band. It's important to note that the £50,000 desired expenditure needs to have some thought behind it. If the number's too high, then it could mean that they're working too long because they don't really need that much money in retirement. And then if it's too low, they could end up making compromises in later life. So now we can put £50,000 a year for the first 10 years into their model for fun activities and see what that does to their finances. So we can see that wealth drops to around about £200,000, and their ISA takes a bit of a hammering in the early years. Here's a look at their wealth over time, and Ant's pension gets run down because he doesn't have the defined benefit pension. So towards the end of their life, it's B with a lot of pension assets. And here's a look at how our fictional characters Ant and B access their money over time. And here's a look at the tax that they pay. Initially nothing because they're living off ISAs, then quite a lot because they've got the additional £50,000 fund money, and then it drops down in 2036 when they're just living off of £50,000 base level expenditure. So cash flow modelling has helped this couple enjoy their retirement a lot more, and it's also potentially lowered their inheritance tax bill. So hopefully this has shown that running a cash flow model can really help you to unlock extra amounts of expenditure in retirement such that you can really enjoy life. And if you've got a spreadsheet, it lasts forever. It can integrate with any expenditure or investment models that you have, and it's fully transparent and customizable to your needs. I'm Ian Shadrack, an accountant with over 30 years experience. I've built cash flow and tax models for companies like Vodafone. Now I do modeling for individuals approaching retirement. I've helped over 200 people get confident about their finances in retirement. If you're interested in working with me, go to my website.